So everything that you say after this point will be on the record. So welcome everyone that's joining. We're just getting started here as people come into the room. For those of you who haven't joined a RedBar webinar before, there is a chat function at the bottom of the screen. You feel free to talk amongst yourselves, say hi, make comments. But if you have questions for myself, Adam, James, or the gentleman from Rado, please put them in the Q&A function, which is a little bit over to the right at the bottom of your screen, and so that we'll be sure to see them and we'll make sure that we can actually get to all of your questions. So it looks like we've got quite a few folks joining, and so I will kick it over to Adam Craniotes, who will introduce our guests today.
All right, thank you very much, Kathleen, and thank you everybody for joining us today. I am super excited to be able to welcome these two gentlemen, to our webinar today. We have with us Andre Bosshard, who is the new CEO of Rado, and with him is our good friend, I should say, Hakim, Kadiri, who is the Vice President of Product Management. I have to, I was looking at your CV there, Andre, and the one thing that popped out to me was not, your time at Certina, which is a brand I do enjoy, or your time prior to that with the Union Glashütte, but the fact that you were a MotoGP champion for Switzerland in the 90s. Now, do you still ride?
Of course, today I'm living, first of all, hello to everybody. It's really, I'm also very excited to make this webinar today together with RedBar and Hakim. And of course, I have the big pleasure to have the opportunity to live again one of my passions. In the 90s, my passion was motorcycle bikes and finally MotoGP races. And today it's again, my job is my passion, and I have the honor to work in the watch industry since already 24 years now.
Well, again, thank you. And your time with the industry has clearly been well spent. Obviously, everybody can look behind Andre, and I think they can see another
Adrian,
one of our guests.
Adrian, my name,
Adrian.
Adam.
I'm
Adrian,
sorry, I
yes.
don't know why I have it down as Andre. That's, excuse me, Adrian. But if you look behind him, you can see another guest of honor here. Clearly, that's part of the Captain Cook collection. I had the pleasure, actually, of writing an article on the Captain Cook recently for Revolution magazine. And this was a piece that was first introduced in 1962, if I'm correct.
Yes, right. That was introduced in 1962. So at that time, that was really the craze of all diving watches, and all the brands were doing that kind of watch. And so Rado was also a pioneer in developing that kind of products. So that was created at that time, yes, in 1962, correct.
Well, I'm going to step back for a second now and let you guys talk about the watch, talk about the history of the Captain Cook, and then the piece that we're here today to discuss.
Yes. Okay. First, please let's make a short introduction of my history. As you have presented me, today I have the honor to be the CEO of Rado. But first of all, I'm like all of you, like the whole team of RedBar, I'm a great passionate about watches and the watch industry. Because I'm born in Zurich, but my whole childhood I have passed here in the region in Biel. And I have saw, all the big watch brands here in the region since I'm a child and since I was also a young man. And I have always admired the brand. And one brand which I have always specially admired is Rado, because often with my father I passed from Biel to Solothurn, and I passed beside this big factory here. And due to the fact that Rado has already at that time a so unique design, I was always very, very inspired about this brand. And, when at the time when I was 20, 30, my passion and my job was motorbikes, because I was a professional motorbike driver. I have the big chance to follow again my passion, because at that time, but also to now, the watch industry is one of my field on which I can really enjoy. And now I'm working 24 years for the Swatch Group, and so I have experience in different price positionings, mechanical products, quartz products, and now since a little bit more than 4 months, I have the honor to work by Rado, and I have, of course, also the honor together with our head of product, with Hakim, to present you a unique pieces and really a product on which we are really very, very proud. But first, I would like to talk a bit about also the roots of the brand. 1917, it's over 100 years ago, our company was founded here, exactly on this place where both of us, we are now here. And you see, this was not the first, but this was up behind. You see the first factory, and after the second factory, that will mean Rado is really one of the biggest and strongest Swiss watch brand, which has a presence all over the world. So Rado is well established in Asia, it's well established, very strong established in the Middle East, in Europe, as well in the States. So we have an international distribution and really roots over 100 years ago. And the uniqueness of the Rado brand was always, when I have read also in the history books, I found a sentence which really have impressed me strongly. And the philosophy of the family Schlupp, who was the founder of Rado, was always, what you can dream, you can do it. And definitely, when I was a motorbike driver, I had always this idea, what you can dream, what you can imagine, you can do it. And when you are a sporty person, this ambition, it's necessary. I know also Hakim, as a very ambitious, passionate guy, have the same ambition. When he dream about the product, he will insist with the engineers and with the watchmakers, with everybody, to realize finally also what he's dreaming about. And so this was the philosophy during all the years, and therefore all our people who have worked for Rado before us, they had always this passion to create unique pieces with unique designs and also with unique materials. And therefore, also already in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, Rado had this strength to have materials who nobody else had. Hard metal. We were the first brand to have worked high-tech ceramic. You know, products with unique strengths, always in mind to have the best possible also user comfort. When you are wearing your Rado on the wrist, that you feel the different, that you feel the strengths and the appealness of the material on the wrist, the scratch proofness and all these things. And so thanks to all these features, Rado created this worldwide strength, this also worldwide USP. Rado is different than all the other brands. And so therefore it's really important also to look back on the product evolution. And you see already in the 50s, Rado have launched the Golden Horse, also a very unique, trendy mechanical product at that time. And one of the pieces which already Adam and Hakim mentioned before, in 1962, the Captain Cook was launched. And this was a time Rado was one of the first brands who have launched a diving watch. Probably you had Blancpain, who was even before, in the 50s, they had launched a diving watch, but Rado was one of the first pioneering brand who have developed this diving product with a turning bezel, with a high waterproofness, and you know, also to discover the deep seas. And this was a very unique pieces in the early 60s. Another piece which is very special is the Rado Diastar. there it was really pioneering. Rado was able to create a scratch-proof hard metal product, and this was really a huge boom at that time. It was a product which was launched everywhere in the world, and you know, scratch-proof, unique design with this iconic face. And after, a watch which is also very special and unique, it's the Rado Integral with this special square shape, full ceramic. And I give you an example what kind of strengths this watch have. Here, this is a Rado Integral, which I got from my wife in 1991. So this watch have 29 years old and she looks like new. And this is exactly the strength of the Rado brand. You buy a watch and during your whole life, it's not only an emotional pleasure, it's also a pleasure for the eyes because you have no scratch, the watch is looking like new. So this is really the you know, also the reason why I'm so familiar with this brand, because this is one of the first, let's say, very expensive watch which I got when I was much younger. After we have the Rado Ceramica, also a very typical shape product in high-tech ceramic. You have the coupe ball round watch with white ceramic, also a unique design. You have the Sintra, also very typical successful product line, also in the square shape. You have the Anatome also with hard metal. So you see, Rado had a lot of strengths in different shapes and also different materialization already in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and in the early 90s. And now I will give the word to Hakim, who will explain you the icons from the newer products.
So on this chart is exactly when I started at Rado. So they just launched the D-Star. The D-Star is in fact an evolution of the Diasar, the original watch that we were manufacturing in 1962. 1962 was the year when Rado created the first piece in hard metal. So the piece in hard metal was quite complicated to manufacture. That was kind of, so we wanted to have the easiest shape also to manufacture the piece, because at that time, so we had no old tools to manufacture pieces in hard metal. Hard metal was used at that time to machine stainless steel, to cut the stainless steel. But here, so in this area where we are living, where we're working, people are working in that field. And we wanted, so I mean, not we, but the people at that time wanted to create a watch that was unscratchable, something that was resistant to time. And this is really what Rado is and Rado was in the past. So in fact, when I joined the company in 2010, so they were just launching the D-Star, which is an evolution, something a little bit more modern than the previous model from 1962, but using also a new material that was called Ceramos. Ceramos is a kind of metallic ceramic. So it's a mix between 90% of ceramic and 10% of metal. And that is really mixed together to have something really hard, but also lighter than the first model. Then the evolution was to try to work in different dimensions. We created the Rado True Thin Line. The True Thin Line is the first monoblock construction in ceramic. That was really an achievement which was really nice. A watch that has something like 4.95 millimeter thickness, that was really thin. This is also really thin still today. And so the construction is called monoblock because everything is built into the ceramic. So as a stainless steel watch, before, so if you take the D-Star, and before the D-Star, all the watch were built as a container, and then the ceramic was kind of decoration on top. That's something that was protecting the inside of the watch. But since we have the True Thin Line, so everything is built directly there. So then we can have a bigger opening, a wider opening, and also something lighter. Then we can see the evolution. We had the hyperchrome, also a mix. It's also a monoblock, but also a mix with different elements that are combined together. We had also the Essenza. The Essenza is the first touch watch. It's interesting because it has no chrome. So we were thinking about ladies wearing this watch with long nails, and the idea was not to have to pull down the crown and to destroy the nails. So that was the idea, also creating that. That was something really interesting with sensor into the watch. Then we create the first type of color, because ceramic, you know, is known as a black color, white color also later, but then we started also developing the color. And that is also what I want also to bring for the rest of my word is the color. The color started by something strong, something dark, and that was the first issue. We developed also because we are looking always for new materials. We are looking about lightness, something that is more resistant, like the next one, which is also a hyperchrome. And this watch is in SI 3 and 4, is a silicon nitride, which is really resistant, more resistant than a normal ceramic, also super light. And that's really fantastic. This watch was something like 72 grams. I mean, the whole watch, that was something fantastic. Also with a movement that was in aluminum. That was something that I like really much. Then you see also the evolution we created with a known designer, Konstantin Krzyk, the Rado Ceramica. And after that, so creating the True Thin line in green color. So that was a new color also. And we created the blue, we created the gray color, we created new colors. So, and that is also what we are looking for, something that is always different. So we have to be pioneer, we want to be pioneer, and we want to create novelties always. We are working also with designers like the True Shadow. So for this one, so we had a collaboration with 6 different designers coming from every part of the world. And here, so this model was really interesting. So we worked with a fashion designer from Japan. And you can see here, so you can see the skeletonized movement. And on top of that, the dial is done in photochromatic glass. And the photochromatic glass is something really interesting. It's like, I mean, the glass that you have when you are in, so then it's transparent. And when you go out, then you have the glass that is smoked. And this watch has 2 faces, the face from the day and the face from the night. And that is something really interesting. And developing watches with designer is really bringing us creativity. It's really our R&D departments, because they are showing us what the design of the future will be. That is really interesting. Then the next one is the Rado Dialmaster Ceramos with the blue dial. But the case here looks like PVD or gold color. But this watch is also in a new material called also Ceramos, but in a rose gold color. So that was something really interesting to create that. It took something like 10 years to develop also the material. It's something really hard, really resistant, and has the color of the gold. And now, I mean, starting by the Captain Cook here was developed, first of all, I mean, we did one piece in 2017, that was also a limited edition in 37mm diameter. I'll join this later. And okay, I will tell you the story just later. And after that, so this year we launched the True Square skeleton, which is really interesting because it takes the roots from the back of Rado, something square, but square and round edges to make something a little bit smoother, softer, and to bring something also totally different to the market.
Okay, thanks Hakim. Dear friends from RedBar, I believe you feel the passion of this guy. Huh? He's burning. His eyes are burning, definitely, because, you know, he's presenting his proper product. It's like a father is presenting his son. So this is definitely a lot of personal engagement behind every single product. And already, Hakim, your creativity cost me already a lot of money, because I have 2 daughters, a son and a wife, and they have chosen, of course, the most expensive diamond watches, not the son, but the ladies. So, but of course, these purchases I did with a great pleasure, because it's from a brand which will stay even after 30 years like new. Okay, good. Now, Hakim already mentioned the fact that we have more to talk about the Captain Cook, which was released in 1962. Because, you know, it's always important when you have iconic products to relaunch such iconic products, because we have in our museum beautiful, amazing products, because also our designers before us and our people before us, they were very, very engaged, and they had also a lot of taste. And I heard from the person who is in charge of the museum that really Hakim was together with him to analyze all the historical pieces and all the historical documentations. And finally, they found this piece and they have chosen to relaunch this piece. Hakim, please give us a little bit more information about it. This was the original.
Okay, that was the original one of the original one. In fact, in 1962 up to 1968, Rado created something like 8,000 pieces. That was the whole lot manufactured by Rado. At that time, the movement which was boxed there was an AS Child 1710, okay, and this company is now also part of the group that was absorbed by ETA in 1982. So more or less the same movement that we have today, but we improved it a bit. So this watch had a size of 35.5 millimeter diameter, and was water resistant up to 220 meters. That was interesting because that was one of the first really diving watch that was going really deep, and the crown was not screw down crown at that time. And so what we can see on the watch, we have really interesting elements. You can see on the screen also, there is one hand that looks like an arrow, and the second hand looked like a sword. And that was also one point that was interesting at the beginning of the product. When they developed it, they had something like this, and after that they changed also the two hands to have also the arrow on our hand and the minute without the arrow, okay? So that was something interesting. The glass was at that time also in acrylic, so it was a hazelite. And we had also a feature on the back that was a bayonet closing system. And that was the reason also we had the two sea hoses on the case back, which today are not anymore like this, because we had to modify the product to be in line with all the specification that we had to apply on the product. So we had to increase a bit the size of the piece to 37 millimeter diameter. So maybe that is the next slide. Yep. I'm sorry. So this was the product that was launched in 2017. So you can see here, so you have...
I remember it was at the Basel Fair in 2017, and it has a big noise around this product.
Yeah, that was really interesting. By the way, we just received also a prize from Mr. Waco from Revolution, and so that was really nice to get the prize for this product. That was something interesting, and we had directly also a lot of feedback from everyone, customers, journalists, and that was really, really interesting. So you can see here what is interesting in terms of product. We have the sloped bezel, okay? So in the past, in 62, that was probably in aluminum. the slot bezel, and now so we improved it also in bringing this product with a ceramic, because ceramic is really our DNA, or material that usually we're working with. And so we have the sloped ceramic bezel. We have also the sapphire crystal, which has the shape of the chevet box. So it's really complicated. In the past, that was in acrylic, as I said before, in acrylic, and so it was just foam. And now working with sapphire, we have really to do exactly the same shape as it was in plastic. And machining the sapphire crystal is really, really complicated. It's one of the most complicated shape to have in terms of sapphire crystal for the watch.
I remember at the time at the Basel Fair, a big noise around this watch. Even colleagues have asked me, can you organize this watch? And finally, she was quite fastly sold out. And also personally, I was really in love about this watch. Personally, my feeling was, of course, it's a very good design, but a little bit small for my wrist. And therefore, finally, it had an evolution in 2019.
Yes, so we were looking about this product really to talk about Rado before the black shiny, because we wanted to tell a story to everyone. So we created a kind of product like the Manhattan, like the Captain Cook, like the Cape Horn. So we wanted to really dig in the past to create the future of Rado. And that was true. I mean, the watch today, 37, is a little bit small, as you said, but the idea was to create in 2019 something slightly bigger. A size that everybody can wear is 42 millimeter diameter. So it has exactly the same feature. We have also the movement that is inside, which is also the Rado caliber or 763, which has 80 hours power reserve.
Yeah. Very, very performing movement.
And here we added also the screw down crown for this product. And we also went back to the roots of the product. And you can see the anchor we have on the back of the anchor. I will tell you the story just a little bit later. So you can see this kind of ruby color, and I will tell you the story later on.
Finally, you were also, at the time, we were able to create some different colors. We had blue and black, the first one.
Yes.
Yes,
black
and also green.
And also green, yes. Yeah.
And at that time, you had all, what I hear is that you had already a dream at the time.
I had a dream, but let's talk this later.
But already you had in mind another color.
Yes, we had to have this in mind. Because
this color you had in mind.
Yeah, it takes really long time to manufacture ceramics.
Oh, okay. And we are already by the bronze. Anyway, in 2019, it was really the Captain Cook. It was the official launch of the Captain Cook 42 millimeters. And thanks to this product, we have really, reactivated, this vintage diving watches, and with a product which is coming from our roots, with this unique design of the bezel, also with the strengths of the ceramic on the bezel, and also with this unique vintage bumped sapphire crystal chevet, and also this style. And as master of materials, it was clear we have to be proactive also in terms of materialization, and bronze is one of the, or it's not one, it's the oldest material for the production of several items. And based on this material, which have a lot of advantage, we have decided to launch this year the Captain Cook in bronze. And so, Hakim, please tell us about this beauty which you see here on the green bezel and on the green dial.
Yeah. So the watch that you can see here is bronze. So we wanted also to keep the picture of the watch also with kind of patined structure. So you can see that on the edge of the watch. That was something really important also to have on the picture. So the watch was created in bronze. So we used copper aluminum alloy. So the idea was to mix and to merge two materials that they have something like 5,000 years difference between ceramic and bronze, because bronze was the first man-made material. And I think it's really interesting to merge the two pieces together. Here, so the alloy CuAl is the alloy that is used also normally to manufacture propellers. And so it's really resistant to water, to salty water. That is the reason why they're using this alloy. And we wanted really to use that one. You know, we have kind of small feature also on the material, the bronze. So usually it's going to patinate. It's going to change also over the time. It's going to evolve with the wearer. Depends if you are diving, if you are sweating, if you are wearing clothes like this. So normally the watch is going to change with you and with the life that you are going to have.
But this is also something unique because it's the first time now, so the Captain Cook we have launched in May, and I have chosen the Captain Cook Bronze in green as the watch which I'm wearing, and I have since 4 months this watch on the wrist. Really, I must say, what is unique is this wearer comfort. It's very very nice to wear the bronze. And due to the fact I like also to go to swim and to make sport with the watch, it's also a nice protection, because bronze have finally the strength that you have a protection with an oxidation. And based on this is really something unique. And every watch has an individual evolution, depends of the wearer. And at that time, when Hakim had his dream, he had always the dream to make a red watch. But to create a red ceramic, it's technically a huge challenge, which our engineers took time. For him, he had never enough time, but of course, there he was, of course, also blocked with the technical evolution. But the blue, the green, and also the brown one were launched in the middle of this year. And after, what was your dream, Hakim?
You can show that. Okay, Burgundy.
Yes. And finally, the dream was to create a red watch, and also a red Captain Cook with red ceramic, and really high-tech ceramic. And how finally, with this beautiful watch, the collaboration between RedBar came together. It's also a very nice history, because of course he's a watch geek. I'm also a watch enthusiast since I'm born, more or less. And our head of marketing is also a watch geek. And when he saw the first time this watch, he said, we have to do something special with this watch. And because it's so unique in terms of design, I know an association which have sharing the same passion like us, RedBar. And that time, our head of marketing, Rico, contacted our American team from Rado, America, Fiorella and Brittany, and they created the link with Adam and Kathleen. And based on this, finally, we have the great opportunity to present you now the Captain Cook Burgundy, especially inspired from RedBar as well. And it's a pleasure, finally, to give to Hakim the word to present this unique, beautiful, special piece.
Yes, so in fact, burgundy is the color. So I would say it's more burgundy than red. So it's more kind of terracotta color. So it's really, really nice, really subtle. It's not kind of Ferrari red color. And it's a color that is really complicated because most of the color that you can create in ceramic, so you have to mix the ceramic with pigments. And most of the pigments that we are using in the painting or in the pencil or something like this, so they don't have to be cooked at 1450 degrees. So most of the pigments are burning, and then so you have at the end something which is brown or which doesn't change the color, or you don't have really the color that you want to have. So we did a lot of tests. It took years also to develop this color. And at the end, we reached this ceramic. So it's an oxide of cerium, or also called ceric, which is cooked. So you have to do twice the cooking. So first of all, you have to cook it at 1450 degrees, but then you don't have the final color. So the color at the end is something like a grayish color. Then after that, you have to recook it. I will not say exactly with which gas you have to mix, but you have to recook it at 950 degrees. And after that, only after that, so you got the color of this kind of burgundy. It's complicated, but that was something that our engineers or physicists discovered.
Hakim, your dream took time. But good things take time. And really, you know, I'm in love with the green one, but the red one is very unique. It's very unique. And, you know, this Burgundy red is so unique. It's so fitting. Also, the reflection of the dial with the bezel and the strap is really, really, we need passion to got this technology to develop this product, but good things take time. Really, it's a great pleasure. Huh? And so you see also the details of the anchor. Huh?
Okay, so the anchor is something that was created also at the end of the 50s, beginning of the 60s. And that was first of all used to have an element that is really complicated to copy in order to avoid copies. We are a brand that is really copied a lot by a lot of in many countries. So here, at the beginning, the idea was to have a ruby. So on the back of the anchor, so we had a ruby also in early 60s. And so the idea was to have the anchor turning well, okay, like into the movement. So we have also synthetic rubies. And at the beginning, when you buy the watch, so you can really move your anchor really slowly and well, but you can realize that after a few times, like 2 or 3 years, when it's time to bring it back to the service, so you will see the anchor turning a little bit less. So that was also the information to bring your watch to the customer service. So we have the ruby on the back and we have the bronze color anchor on top. So, of course, we have a screw-down crown as it's a 300-meter water resistance, and we have a brushed sides of the watch, and the bezel is polished. What we have the date, which is also in red. So this date is really also the kind of signature of Rado. You can see for most of the watch we had also in the 60s. So we had either the red date or we had also the date at 6 o'clock. So for the next one, we have, of course, hands applied indexes in the bronze color, and you can see slightly here on the drawing the shape of the sapphire crystal, which is done a little bit higher than the turning bezel.
And you know also the production of this glass, when I have visited the first time our factory where we are doing the manufacturing of the glasses, you know, this shape, this chevet shaped glass, I was really impressed, you know, the high techniques which you need to create, you know, this specific design and shape of the glass. And so this created me even more proud about this product, because I see what kind of watchmaking know-how is behind to create such beauty.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I had a fear. So, of course, you need to have on the bronze the patina. So that is obvious. If you have a bronze case, you must have the patina. The thing is when you are in a shop and you want to buy the watch that is in bronze, and then someone touched the watch maybe the week before, and then you can see the fingerprint of the last person that touched the watch. Then so we were thinking about different ways what to do. So we created, so we had a kind of sapphire coating on the watch. We had different things, but at the end we went with the idea to have a gold flash on top of the case, which is 0.1 micron to 0.3 micron. And the idea is really to protect the watch against the mark, the oxidation of the people who could touch it. This kind of gold flash will disappear after, I would say, 1, 2, 3 months, something like this, but slowly and slowly. And this gold flash has exactly the color of the bronze that is below. And you are not going to see anything, but once you will wear the watch, and then at the end, so you will see the watch living your life.
Yeah. You know, we see it's now, this watch I am wearing 4.5 months, and the gold plate flushing is moving out, and now really the bronze is coming out, and the bronze with the typical specification of Adrian. My personal watch after 4.5 months, and I'm really proud about. Here is the original, and here finally it's the personal bronze. Very, very special. Huh?
Just one point, back of the case is in titanium, so to avoid any allergies. And of course, I mean, you can see the NATO strap. So we have the NATO, and the loop is is fixed into the NATO. So then you have no problem of allergies. No, I mean, that is maybe sometimes a problem that could happen also.
And you know, finally, when you are seeing the design of this product, when you see now, you felt also all the technical features, the idea behind. But basically what is important, this product, exactly in this shape and these proportions, it was created in 1962. That will mean the base is a design from 60 years ago, but today transferred with modern proportions and with the most modern materials. That will mean with the perfect 80-hour power reserve movement with the best technology, finally with modern materials, sapphire crystal, high-tech ceramic. It's really a beauty inspired from the past and developed from the best watchmakers and the best engineers. And this makes me as CEO of the brand really proud. We have not invented something or copied something. It's our own product. It's our own DNA, and translated with the technologies which are at disposal today from our engineers. And this, I'm convinced that today, diving vintage watch, they are fully on trend, and here it's our product, the Rado Captain Cook ceramic bezel bronze, and especially with this unique Burgundy color, really a product which, Hakim, we can be proud. Together with all our team. Because alone we can do nothing. We have hundreds of people, engineers, physicals, you know, people who have support to develop this product. And we have the honor now to represent this product on behalf of the whole Rado company, on behalf of all our engineers, watchmakers, and the whole Swatch group.
That's the buckle and the loop.
Yeah.
And we have the logo also on the buckle.
And here you see this beauty is in a special pouch, the RedBar pouch. And due to the fact that we have created this product also, in collaboration with RedBar, we decided to make the first 30 pieces exclusive with the RedBar logo on the pouch, and with an additional strap, a brown strap inside. You have on one side the red strap, the NATO strap, and the leather strap beside. It's really also a very useful pouch when you are traveling, when you want to put beside the watch. Really, only 30 pieces are launched with this RedBar logo, really to underline our common passion, to underline also our common pleasure about the beautiful Swiss watch industry, and especially also the very friendly and nice relation between the RedBar team, the management, all members, and the Rado persons here in Lengnau and all over the world. Okay.
Maybe I can add something?
Yes. Oh, of course, of course. An additional, together with the Captain Cook Burgundy RedBar and the pouch, a watch winder on which you can put your watch when you are maybe a couple of days not wearing the watch, to have a self-winding machine. This Rado watch winder is supplied with the first 30 RedBar Captain Cook Burgundy models.
And in bronze color also.
And of course, bronze color. Good. So, we took a little bit more time than foreseen, but when you are sharing something which is exciting us on this level, of course, you can several times, okay, very great taste. So, Kathleen, Adam, and also James, congratulations, you took a good choice.
No, it's a fantastic piece, and you guys really did a wonderful job. I don't know if we can stress enough, though, how difficult it is to create these colors. I know that it was something that took a lot of time and effort, and I do want to reiterate to folks that in person, it's a more subtle effect, so it does create, I think, a more versatile watch. But there are times, and we're going to be posting photos, and I've got some personal photos that I took over the weekend, but there are times when the light hits the dial that just, the whole thing just sort of explodes with color. So it's a very interesting effect. And also, I think it's an effect that does occur with the other colors as well. Obviously, I'm partial to the burgundy, but it's the contrast between the concave and the convex surfaces, I think, that makes this watch special. And it's one thing that I noted was that you touched on it. It's a design from 1962 that you really haven't messed with it. It's updated now. It's ceramic, it's aluminum bronze, it's titanium, but it's the same basic design, and it's still relevant. It's retro, but it still looks new. It's a testament to the strength of this piece. Also, I want to note to folks too, I love lume. Not only are the hands and indexes loomed, but the indexes on the bezel are loomed as well. So, it's they dotted every I and crossed every T here.
I really think my takeaway from this is how light this watch is. It really stood out to me. It looks like a hefty watch. It's sized at 42 millimeters, but with the use of materials, the titanium caseback, the aluminum, copper, bronze combination, and then of course the ceramic bezel. This is a much lighter watch than I think it might look on paper or on somebody's wrist. You got to try this thing on. They are really cool and very festive, I might add. It's definitely in our RedBar DNA, but this is seasonally apropos, I think, folks. So this will look really good with all those shimmering Christmas lights and so on.
Or maybe you can do a set, the green and the burgundy together.
Menorah lights too.
And that's blue. Then you've got the blue.
This is 2020. Don't we have more things to worry about than being politically correct here? Come on.
So
we are getting some questions about the price. It's 2,600, correct, for the US?
think the US pricing, I think, is $27.50 US. Is that?
$27.50.
$27.50 with the pouch and the watch wind, you know, the whole exclusive package for the first 30 Captain Cook RedBar specials.
And so just so for those of you who are in attendance, the people that are attending the webinar will get a link directly to purchase on Wednesday. Fiorella just told me that just before we started, that the link will be available on Wednesday. So everybody that was here watching this live will get first dibs, and then the link will go out to all RedBar members, right? You know, just after that. But yeah, it's a beautiful piece, and to James's point, it is like way lighter than like just looking at it, it feels like I don't have any, you know, that I'm wearing a much smaller watch.
No, this is really the uniqueness also about bronze. Bronze is taking also immediately the temperature of the body, and you don't feel the watch. It's just a little bit the same like ceramic. Ceramic is a different material, but also the wear comfort with the NATO and the bronze is definitely on a very, very high level. I'm really deeply impressed about.
And so we're getting a question about the movement, which it is but it's a special movement in terms of how they've designed this and achieved, you know, an 80-hour power reserve, but it hasn't changed the isochronism at all either. It's still a very accurate movement.
Which is, sure.
So
it's a very accurate movement which we have developed together with the Swatch Group to have a power reserve of 80 hours. You know, often people, when they are coming home Friday evening from work, they put the watch beside, and the whole weekend they have no watch. So you put Friday evening the watch beside, and you take the watch again on Monday morning. When you have a 80-hour power reserve movement like we have here, the watch is running Monday morning. And a lot of other movements, they have a power reserve of only 36 or 38 hours, and this is the big strength. First strength, the second strength is also the accuracy. A very high accuracy we have with this Rado movement, and therefore our aim is always to have, first of all, a beautiful design, the best material, and also a very accurate, precise, high premium Swiss watch movement inside.
Well, I think that answers that question. Do we have any other questions out there? Let's see.
Oh, James is demonstrating the link.
Yeah, the supernova. This is also a very important point. You know, the light, when you are in the dark room, you see always the time, because of course, as inspired from a diving watch, of course, you need to have a good visibility also when you are 300 meter on the bottom, 300 meter waterproofness, you need to have also a visibility. I have never tried. You have tried? No.
Yeah, I think if you're 300 meters down, you're the least of your worries is your watch.
So we will not try,
Yeah, we're not going to try that, but I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. I know that some of the earlier versions didn't have the lume bezel on it, so that is a nice touch to combine that with the ceramic.
Yeah, it's an evolution.
I was also going to say, some of the earlier Captain Cooks also didn't have a depth rating on the dial, which, you know, I love that you brought that out for the bronze. If I'm correct, is it only the bronze line that has the depth rating?
Yeah, the stainless steel doesn't have the Luminova. So we have here, it's kind of, we call it it's a metallization we have on the stainless steel models.
Yeah. So it is a nice touch, and one that again is a described lume fanatic. I always get a kick out of that. So, but yeah, it is a fantastic watch.
No, finally, when I have the occasion, I would also just to underline some points about you know, the actual situation. We are all aware in the States, all over in Europe, all over the world. We have, of course, we have all big concerns about the actual running pandemic and the situation for the economy. it's clear we are also, we from the Swatch Group and from Rado, we are very concerned about the situation, and we are doing everything also to protect each other. You see here we are COVID conform, but one thing is very important, we have never stopped any evolutions, we have never stopped any also new developments. Even during the period of March, April, May, when 90% of the stores all around the globe was closed, we were here and we have worked and developed for the future, because we are always aware, of course, the pandemic is here now, but this will pass. And the passion from the customers to have beauties, to have unique products, this will remain. And based on also this motivation, we did a lot of development also during this time, on which you can be very, very surprised also in the upcoming months and years, because we have used this time to really, you know, move out of this corona situation even stronger than before. And so based on this, we believe on a bright future of Rado and the Swiss watch industry, because finally you cannot compare a Swiss watch or a Rado watch with something else. It's really something which is timeless, which you have as personal object. You know, what kind of consumption goods you would have even 29 years after when you got, you have not a lot of consumption goods, but the Rado watch, even 29 years after you got the gift, it's new, it's working, it's precise, and it's without scratches. And even in a little bit small maybe, but even trendy. Like the Captain Cook, which is inspired from a design from the 60s, developed with the most modern material. Finally, this is making the difference for a very strong and important Swiss watch brand like Rado.
You know, we have a question here, but I think I can also answer it. They wanted to know if you were going to do a full dive-capable screw-down crown version. And I have to point out that while our friend Trevor owns your 2017 reissue, the 42 millimeter watches do have screw-down crowns. They are rated to 300 meters of water resistance. So if you want to wreck dive the Andrea Doria with this thing, you can. I'm not going to do it, but it is an incredibly capable dive watch now.
You know, anyway, this watch in 1962, it was inspired to do diving, because it was at the time when, you know, Jacques Cousteau, he did a lot of expedition in the deep sea, and it was at the time on many, you know, premium watch brands have developed diving watches. And of course, when you are creating a diving watch in terms of design, it's important that these features you will find in the end also in the watch. Even if both of us, we don't want to go to test to dive 300 meters deep, but to know this watch is capable to move down on a deepness of 300 meters, it's giving us the security to have a product which is really, really on the top end of the development, and with all the features who are representing also the uniqueness of a diving watch. Well,
there you go. It certainly is that. So I want to say thank you so much, guys, for joining us here. I know that there's more planned for this line, not stuff that perhaps we could discuss right now, but I personally am excited to see what the next evolution is. But for now, I have to say I'm pretty happy with the one that's on my wrist.
Excellent. For the time, we will fully enjoy about the former dream of Hakim, who became a reality now for all of us. We will fully enjoy, and I'm convinced that a lot of consumers and watch enthusiasm worldwide will enjoy about this watch, and believe we are working already for the future, but enjoy the moment.
Wonderful.
Well,
wonderful.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to say again, this is a really special watch. It takes a special watch to get me interested in something that wasn't made in the 1960s or 70s. Those of you who know me, I live in the past. So finding a good modern adaptation and homage, but that pushes the envelope, it's a rare thing. And it's a special thing to be able to get limited access for the RedBar community for 2 weeks, especially going into the holidays. So take the shot, guys.
Thank you, RedBar.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, James. It's a pleasure to share, you know, over many thousand kilometers, the same passion. Yes. And thanks to this technology, but I really even looking forward to meet you personally, maybe also some other, you know, members of RedBar, because when we can talk about watches, the time will never stop when we can share the same passion. Bye-bye.
Indeed. Stay safe, gentlemen, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.